Hi, Peter Wood here, back in the garden with another film for you. This is part 2 of skew chisel work on the pole lathe. The last film I did was showing you how to use the tip of the skew chisel, and now I'm going to take it further and show you how to use the main cutting edge of the skew chisel. I'm using an Ashley Isles skew chisel. Any skew chisel will do, they all work roughly the same way. This one's got slightly rounded corners rather than sharp edges, but whatever you've got, you use that. The main thing you need to remember with the skew chisel is it needs to be sharp. I know all your tools need to be sharp, but on my courses, the main reason people aren't getting on with the skew chisel, I find, is that it's not sharp enough. They've been using it for a while, the edge is gone, it needs a quick sharpen. What happens is people say, oh, I'm having a real problem with the skew chisel, Peter. How do I work this? And I'll grab the skew chisel, give it a little sharpen, and then say, try it now, and then suddenly it's working a lot better. Obviously, it's technique after that and what you do with the chisel, but it really helps for it to be really razor sharp. So another time I'll do some sharpening, and there's lots of other people doing posts on how to sharpen all your chisels, so there's plenty out there for you to try out. But yeah, sharp. Big gouge, it needs to be sharp, but if it's not 100%, it's not going to stop it working. Whereas the skew chisel, sharp. Anyway, we're going to be working that part of the chisel. We're going to be a revision of the tip. We're going to look at the heel and then show you how to do some curves and some roundovers. I'll make some mistakes, I'm sure, and you'll make some mistakes, but it doesn't matter if you make mistakes, just learn from doing your mistakes. So enjoy the film. It'll mainly be close up, and I'll see you next time. Okay, we're going to start off with the chisel not cutting. You see, you're much higher up, and that point is not cutting. A thing that a lot of people do is they start cutting at the point they think it should be cutting. That doesn't really make sense, but they think, okay, there we go, and you'll be at too high an angle, and so you dig in straight away and pull back. So start off when you're not cutting and bring it back until you're just cutting. There we go, we're just cutting in there. And you'll notice I'm cutting in the middle section of the blade. I'm not hitting the corner here, and I'm not hitting the corner there. So I'm just cutting that little bit. I'm taking a little cut off. I'm getting to here, that bit, and that's taking a bit too much off. So I'm going to take a little bit off, then I'm going to come back again and take a bit more off. And you'll notice, first thing, I'm making a little line. Can you see that line there? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm pushing that line along each time. Every time I put my chisel on, I put it on where that line is and I push it down until we get right down to the bottom. Let's show you again. Start my cut, you can see the line beginning, and as I push down with my foot, I move the skew chisel along and I push that line down. What I don't want to do is push so hard or so quick that I jump out of the line. So you don't want to be going like that, because you get lots of little lines, and you don't want to be going too quick, because this is a poor lowly pole lathe. It doesn't rotate very quickly, so all you that are used to using the skew chisel on the powered lathe, we can't go as fast as the powered lathe. We've got to go just the speed the lathe goes. So each time you push down, we're only moving or advancing the skew chisel along just a little bit. And then to go the other way, you turn it round. Don't know if you can see that in the camera, so I'll just do it a little bit. Around we go. Now, that's your basic way of using the skew chisel, but there are a number of things to watch out for. So first things first, as we twist the chisel around, you'll notice the cut gets closer to this point. And when you get to that point, you're going to dig in and it's going to pull across. Just a little demo, dig in and it's going to pull across. So let's get rid of that. As you come round, instead of turning it and getting close to that point, you want to bring the chisel up a little bit. I'll do you a bit of a film further away as well so you can see, but as you go round, instead as I'm getting close to that bottom bit, I'm going to bring it up so my cutting point is still in the middle. Okay, so around we go there. That's the first thing. Move your chisel that way and that way so that the cutting point stays in the middle, so you're not hitting there and you're not hitting there. Now as you twist it around, you've got the bevel at the back. There's one bevel, there's the other bevel. Now the bevel wants to rub on the work, it's the support. Again, I'll show you from a different angle what I mean, but if you lift it up, you're not going to be rubbing on the bevel. And because you're not rubbing on the bevel, the chisel will push along. I go that way, I don't know if you're going to be able to see that. If I go round, if I lift it up, I'll exaggerate, I'm not rubbing on the bevel, there's no support, so you'll dig in and your skew chisel will move across. So, as well as keeping the cutting part in the middle of the blade, you've got at the same time keep lowering the chisel down so you are rubbing on the bevel. So it's two things you're doing, and I'll show you that in a different angle in a bit as well. And there you go, I'm trying to take too much off there, so either skip over the top and take lots of small cuts, or come back and make it into a feature. There we go. Then you can carry on. While I'm at this angle, the other thing you can do is using this part of the chisel to really clean up that area. You can come down, and then this one point, you'll bring that heel straight in, and then back this way, and then you can clean it up. Let's go really slow, and so that heel just cuts in there. Okay, let's get you a different angle so I can show you again the ways of bringing it down and why you want to keep running or rubbing on the bevel. Okay, I've changed the angle, moved the string out of the way, just so hopefully you can see a bit better what I'm doing with the skew chisel. To start off with, I'm starting with the cutting edge, not cutting too high up. I'm bringing it down until I just hit the point where it cuts. Let's do that, nice and consistent up and down. Let's move my finger out of the way just so you can see. Bring it back until I'm just cutting. Okay, and I'm going to start rolling it along. Now I'm bringing my chisel up, moving up that way so that I'm keeping the cutting edge in the middle, so I'm moving up as I go round. But if I just twist it, I lose contact with the bevel, so I've got to keep that bevel rubbing on the wood. Let's try something else. Just going to do a bit more of a steeper curve. That's what I'm going to dig in. Let's bring that round. Get rid of all those bits. You can see it that way. Round we go. Now I'm going to try and round off that little bit. Let's get rid of that out of the way as well. So start off not cutting. Bring it back till it's just cutting. And I'm going to start rolling it down, but I'm bringing my hand around. But I'm keeping it going round like that rather than just twisting it over, so the bevel stays on the wood. Now as I go to a more extreme angle, I'm going to lose the cut here, so I have to bring the chisel back up this way a little bit. So I'm starting there, bringing it around until I get right, so I'm almost going straight in. Let's show you again. Round we go, I'm following that line down, not trying to push it too hard, and I'm coming right the way up. I'm down like that. Let's go again. Round I come. I'm now bringing it up, and we've got a nice curve there, and that goes in and cleans out that curve. Let's do it this way, just so you can see as well. You can just use the heel to clear it out if you're doing a shallow curve. Better with the tip, I think, if you're doing a steeper curve. There we go, so we start on the top. Round we come. I want to bring that middle section up so that I'm cutting in the middle. See how if I just twist it straight round, I'm going to hit that point there. So as I twist around, I'm going to bring it up, but I'm going to keep that bevel rubbing on the wood. Let's clear that out of the way so you've got a better view. And again, start from the top, bring it round, bring it up, and notice my back hand, hopefully you can see that, comes right up. I can move that heel in if I want to clean it out. I can also go back the other way if I want as well. Watch out for digging in. That top is the hardest bit to do. There we go. As you can see, the skew can be a hard taskmaster, but you get some nice rewards. The best thing I can suggest is go wrong lots of times. Don't try and be perfect each time. Get used to using the chisel. Get used to how it cuts, but then purposefully go wrong. Lift it up, twist it round until you dig in and find that point where you dig in. And that gives you the boundaries from where you can work with the skew chisel. If you do it perfectly first time and keep on doing it perfectly, that's great until it goes wrong, and then you don't know why it's going wrong. But if you work and purposefully go wrong, you know when it's going wrong, why it's going wrong, and then you can put it right. I hope you've enjoyed that. I'm expecting quite a few comments on this one. I'll probably revisit it and do another little film about the skew chisel, but that's how we'll go to start off with. And next film I'll make something where we're utilising all the different chisels and make something useful. So you stay good out there, and I shall speak to you soon.